Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to PHP Front to Back. I believe this is episode 22. In the last video, we went ahead and started working with MySQLi, or MySQL Improved, which is an extension to start working with our database, okay, with MySQL. What we did was we went into PHP we created some posts in a post table, and we connected to the database. If we look in config, okay, we have all of our database parameters. We're connecting to the database, and we're pulling out some posts. Okay, so this is index.php. That's what we're looking at. And then we also made it so if we go to the individual page, we pass the ID to post.php, which is this file. We grab the ID from the get array. Then we do another query to get that single post. So what I want to do now is I want to add a new page to add a post, which will obviously have a form. But before I do that, I want to fix this. The responsive navigation here isn't working. Notice that if I make this bigger, we have a home link, but if we go smaller, it's not being displayed. And the reason for that is we didn't add the JavaScript, the Bootstrap JS file. So let's go over to includes and go to footer.php. And we're just going to grab the Bootstrap CDN. Okay, we're already including the CSS, but we just need the JavaScript. So let's copy that. Put that in the source attribute. Whoops, I'm gonna end that. And then we also need jQuery because it's a dependency of Bootstrap JS. So let's just say jQuery CDN. And let's just grab jQuery 1.x uncompressed. I'm going to just copy this script tag here. And we're going to put that right above the Bootstrap JS. Save it. Let's go back, reload. And now we have the menu. Alright, so let's create a new file in website. Mine's in a folder called website 8. It's basically the root of this, of whatever you called your website. And then we're going to say new file, and let's save it as add post.php. Alright, and then what I'll do is copy everything from index.php into add post. Alright, and then we're going to get rid of all this stuff because we're not fetching any posts for this page. Okay, we want to keep the header and the footer, all that. Container, let's change this h1 to add post. And then we don't want this for each loop. We can get rid of everything in there. And we just want to create a form. Alright, so let's give this form a method attribute of post, because that's the type of request it's going to make. And then action is going to be this page. So let's just do PHP, and we'll use the server super global. And we can say PHP underscore self, and that'll submit to this actual page. Alright, and then inside the form, let's put a div, and let's give this a class of form group. And let's put a label, and we'll just say title, and then an input tag. Let's give it a type of text. Let's give it a name of title, and then a class of form control. Okay, so that's the title. Let's go ahead and copy that form group. I'm actually going to make this bigger. Alright, and then this is going to be the author. So we'll change the name to author. And then we're going to have a body. Actually, we're going to change this to a text area. And give it a name of body. And then just a ending tag. And then we'll give it a submit button. So we'll say input. Let's do type submit. Name submit. Value submit. And let's give it a class of btn. Whoops. btn and then btn primary. That should be a hyphen. Alright, so there's our form. Let's save it, and then let's add it to the navbar. So if we go to inc and then go to navbar.php, let's copy this. And in here we'll just say add post. And this is going to go to the root URL, and then it's going to go add post.php. Alright, so let's check that out. We'll reload. And we have an add post link. Click that. Brings us to the form. So let's go back to our add post PHP file, and up here we're gonna check for a submit. All right, so we'll say check for submit, and we'll do if is set. And remember, we gave the button a name of submit, so we can actually check for that in the post array. Submit, and then let's just do echo submitted. All right, just to test it out. So reload, submit, and you can see we get submitted. Now, I'm not gonna create this as if it was a production application. We've already gone over form validation, so if you guys want to add that, be my guest. But I'm not gonna. I don't want to keep repeating things. I know that some people may comment and say, oh, you know, you didn't do this, you didn't add validation. The goal of this isn't to create the perfect application or the most secure application. The goal is to teach you guys the syntax, and to do that, you know, fairly quickly. So I'm not going to do any validation here. I'm just going to show you how to insert it into the database. All right, if you want to learn validation, if you haven't watched that episode already, I mean, you can watch the ones about filters. You can watch, I don't know, I'm not going to go through all of them, but we've already done that a few times, I believe. So once we check this, let's get the form data. So we'll say title, and this is going to come from the post array. Okay. All right, now, I mean, as I said, I'm not going to make it the most secure app, but there are some things that you just need to do, and I'm not going to leave those out. So we're going to wrap this in MySQLi real escape string. All right, which is going to protect us from harmful shit that people can do. So let's say MySQL real escape string, and we'll just wrap that. All right, and then we'll copy that, and we want to get the body and the author. All right, and let's see, we're going to create our query now. So let's create a variable called query, and we'll set it to insert into. By the way, guys, if you haven't watched my SQL video, I think it's, what do I call it? SQL for beginners and intermediates or something like that. In that video, we go over all the base, you know, the core syntax of SQL. So I would suggest watching that if you have no idea what, you know, insert into is and stuff like that. So we'll say insert into posts, and we're going to insert the title, the author, and the body. And then we'll define our values, which will be, and these have to be in quotes. We'll say title, author, and body. Okay, so that's our query. Now what we're going to do is we need to, actually, you know what? We have to add in the connection up here. When we use this real escape string, you also want to add the connection as the first parameter. Alright, and that con I'm getting from, if you don't remember, it is right here. Alright, so we have the query. Now we're going to do an if statement, and we're going to run it through the MySQLi query. So we'll say if MySQLi underscore query, and this also takes the connection as the first parameter, and then the query. Okay, so if that is successful, then we just want to redirect. So we'll say header, and let's specify location, and that'll go to the root URL. So we can concatenate in here root underscore URL. Now if you don't know what that is, that's also in the config right here, config.php. We defined a constant root URL which goes to this this website 8 directory. All right. So that's if it's successful. If it's not, for some reason, then we just want to echo out, we'll say error, and then let's just concatenate MySQLi underscore error and wrap the connection. All right, so that will tell us the specific error if something goes wrong. All right, so I think that should do it. Let's save it, and then let's go over here and let's just refresh this page, and we'll add a post. Let me see. On the home page, we have post 1 and post 2, so let's add post 3. Say this is post number 3, submit, and there it is, post 3. Reload, it's still there, it's in the database. Now if you want, you probably would want to order this to have the most recent first, so we can just add on to, I don't know why we didn't do this before, but let's go to the index, and where we said select all from post, we'll say order by, and let's see, what do we want to order it by? Forget the fields. Let's see, post, so we have created at, so we'll order it by created at, and we want to order it descending, so DESC. All right, and now if we go back and reload, now post 3 is first. Okay, you have the most recent first. All right, so now let's do the edit. Let's make it so that we can edit a post, and I have to do this kind of quick because I have to pick my daughter up at the bus and I don't want to be late. So in the individual page here, we're going to put an edit button. So remember, that's in post.php. So we'll go down here and let's go, let's see, we'll go under the body here, and we'll put, let's put an HR tag, and then we'll put a link, and that's going to go to, let's first of all echo out the root URL. Okay, so it's going to be root URL, and then it's going to be edit post.php, which we still have to create. Now we need to send along the ID as a parameter, so we'll say ID equals, and then PHP echo, and remember we can get post, and that's an associative array, so we can get the ID. Alright, and then let's just give it a class of btn, and btn we'll say default. Alright, and then it'll just say edit. Okay, let's go back and reload. Okay, so now we have an edit button. If we click it, it's going to give us an error because we didn't create the page yet. So let's create that. So in the root of our website here, let's say new file and save it as edit post.php. Now this is going to be very similar to add post, so I'm going to just copy from add post PHP and paste it in here. And let's see, we're going to add to, we need a query to get the current post, okay, just like we did on the individual post page. So we can actually grab it from that, from post PHP, where we did this here. We can grab all this, copy it, go to edit post, and let's go under the submit, paste that in, and then what we'll do is put the value. Okay, remember we're getting it, it's going to get put in this post variable, so what we can do is go down and add values to these inputs. Okay, so we'll say value PHP echo post, what is it, post title, and then let's see, I'll just copy that value and we'll go down here, and this will be post author, and then this will be in the text area. Okay, we don't need value here, just that, and we'll change this to body. All right, so let's go and reload, and now we have the values inside the form. So now we need to take care of the submission. So once we submit, it's going to go, it's going to check for the submit, and it's going to run this. Now we don't want to do an insert. This is going to be an update. Now we also want the ID because we need to know which one to update. So what I'll do is go back down to the form, and we're going to put a hidden input here. So we'll say type hidden, and let's give it a name of update underscore ID, and then we'll give it a value. And remember, we can get the value by saying PHP echo post ID, and then we can grab that up here. Let's go right here, and we'll say update underscore ID equals, and then let's just copy one of these, and then this is going to be post update ID. Alright, so now we have, actually let's get rid of that D, it's just update. So for the query, we're going to change this around. Let's actually just get rid of this, and we're going to say update the table, which is posts, and then set, and then, whoops, not set cookie, that's, I don't want that. Let's see, we're going to then describe the fields we want. So title is going to equal title that's passed in from the form. Author, same thing. What else are we doing here? Body. Oops. Okay, and then we need to specify where this is going. So we're going to say where the ID is equal to the update ID. All right. So you can organize it however you want, but that's going to update the whatever's passed in as the ID. So right here, we can actually just leave this how it is. So let's save this, and then let's reload the edit page, and let's change the spelt out word 3 to just the number 3. We'll change the author to John Doe, and we'll say this is post 3. Submit. Okay, so we have an error. Let's see, MariaDB at line 5. So it looks like we have an error in the query. Update posts, set title. So let's print out this query just to see. So we'll say let's do a dive function here, and we'll pass in query just to make sure that everything is actually being submitted correctly. So set title, post 3, author, body. Okay, so the ID is not coming through. So why is that? So we have a hidden field with the name of update ID, and we're passing post ID. You know what? I think we just need to reload the form or refresh it. Nope, that's not it. Why is it not showing? Let me look at the source code here. If we look down here, value is spelled wrong. You guys probably saw that a while ago, huh? You fucking idiot. Alright, so let's change that to value, and then we'll go back up here and get rid of the die, and it should work. Let's see, let's go back. Post 3, edit. Let's change that to post 3. I know there's a lot of banging upstairs, guys. This isn't the most professional episode, but I have to hurry up. John Doe, and submit. And there we go. You can see it's been changed. Author's John Doe. So now what we want to do is we want to be able to delete posts. Now, when we create a delete button here, we can't just put it in a regular link or a button. It has to be a post request, okay? I mean, we could do a get request, but that's very, very unsecure to just have a get request to make a delete. So we're going to create a form that just has, one, it's going to have a button, a submit button, and two, it's going to have a hidden field with the ID. So let's go to post.php and go down to where we have the edit link. And we're going to go, let's see, we'll go right above it. And let's create a form tag. And we're going to give this a class of, let's do pull right, because we want it to align to the right. And let's see, let's give it a method of post. And let's give it an action. And the action is going to be the current page, so we'll just say PHP echo server. Oops. And this is going to be PHP underscore self. And then inside here, we're going to first put a hidden field. And this is going to have the name of delete underscore ID and then the value. And for that, we'll do PHP echo. What are we doing? Post ID. Okay, so that's the hidden field. Now we need to submit. So we'll say input type submit, and let's give it. We'll give it a name of delete, and let's give it a value of delete, and then give it a class of btn danger, which will make it red. So let's save that and take a look. We'll reload, and now we have a delete button. Now we want to catch the submission of the delete button, so what we can do is copy from, let's see, let's go to edit post and just grab this right here and then copy that. And then we'll go back to post.php and we want to check for the delete submit. So let's paste this in, and remember we called it delete, not submit, so we're going to check for that. And all we need is the ID, so let's say delete ID, and remember we submitted that hidden input with the name of delete ID. And then we can get rid of this stuff because we're not adding anything, we're just deleting it. And then for the query, this is actually going to be easier than that. We're going to say delete from posts where ID is equal to the delete underscore ID. And then we're just going to do the same thing here. We're going to run it through MySQLi query and then redirect. So let's save this and let's reload and click delete. Remember, this is post 3, and now you can see that post 3 is gone. Alright, so we now have an application that has full CRUD functionality. We can create, read, update, and delete posts. Now, this isn't the best way to do things using the procedural MySQLi extension. We can also use it in an object-oriented way, which I'll get to. And even better, there's an extension called PDO, which is PHP Data Objects, which is, in my opinion, a much better and a much safer way to work with the database. But this MySQLi is definitely something that you need to know if you're learning PHP. Alright, so thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next episode.